Stop jumping up. How do we stop our dogs jumping up? Hi, my name's Charlie Thorburn. Welcome to Mordor Gun Dogs. On this video, we're just going to talk a little bit about dogs jumping up and how to deal with it and how most people deal with it and they're making a mistake and they're getting it wrong. It's pretty normal. Hello, boy. You know, of course he doesn't want to jump up. It's pretty normal for young dogs to want to jump up, okay? Now, whether that's just because they're excited, you wind them up, or they see something you've got. What's this? They see something you've got and they want to jump up and bite it, or they want to get your attention. It's a normal behavior. Puppies do it. Puppies jump up on your legs and they scratch your trousers. My children always complain when they're in with the puppies because they get scratched legs. And I say to them, well, if you're going to go and see the puppies, put a pair of trousers on. Pretty simple, not rocket science. The most common thing I see with people when their dogs are jumping up is as the dog jumps up. So we're going to put this guy up here, okay? As the dog jumps up, generally what they do is they go, no, 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 get down, there's a good boy, okay? Now, to what you think you're doing is you're telling the dog off for jumping up. So you're saying, no, 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 get down. That's your negative correction. Then you're then thinking to yourself, well, now they're down on the ground, so I better tell them they're a good boy. The way the dog sees it is the dog goes, I want attention. I jump up, whack them in the stomach, and they give me attention. Simple as. Because they don't see you going, no, 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 get down, as a negative. Because most of you don't go, no, get down. You go, no, 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 get down, good boy, well done. And it's all the same. It's no, 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 that could be yes, 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 get down, jump up, get down. It all sounds the same to a dog because they don't speak English. They don't speak French, Swahili, or any other language, okay? So it's the tone of voice, it's how you say it, it's how you portray your body language. So if we just go back to the tone of voice, you're saying, no, 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 get down, okay? No, no, no. Everyone says no way too much to their dogs anyway, so that doesn't really mean anything. And you're saying, no, 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 get down. They don't know what get down means clearly because they're jumping up, so that's not something they associate with. Now, what I tend to say when a dog jumps up, whether it jumps up on me or it puts its feet on the counter or it puts its feet on a vehicle, something else, I just say off, okay? Because I want a quick, sharp off. Okay, and that's my no, 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 get down. I say it in one quick, short movement, and I don't say off. I go off in an assertive, corrective way. I make a movement towards them, and I say off to correct them. Okay, now if they're in the kitchen and they jump up on the work surface, what I tend to do is hit the top of the work surface. The dog's got its feet up on the work surface, I go along behind them and I hit the work surface, okay? So the dog is, and then as soon as I've hit the work surface, I jump away backwards and I turn around as if I'm nothing to do with it. So the dog's associating they're putting their feet on the work surface with this loud bang that they don't like. So the first thing to do is think about how you're actually telling the dog off and trying to correct them. If you're not somebody who has the kind of the personality kind of traits, ability to be assertive in that kind of off kind of a way, and you find that difficult, you find it difficult to be strong with your dog, then actually if your dog jumps up at you, your best thing is actually just to ignore them. Now, I delivered a little dog home the other day. Some of you may have seen on the video, she was called Darcy and she was a Weimaraner. And as soon as she got home, she hadn't seen mummy and daddy for weeks and she's trying to jump up. And of course, they haven't seen her for weeks either. So they don't want to be bonking her on the head with a newspaper or being aggressive, assertive with her because they're like, oh, my little darling, I haven't seen you for weeks. They're pleased to see her, but they don't want her jumping up. And they certainly don't want to encourage her to think, oh, I'm home, I get to jump up. But they were as described, they were saying, no, 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 Darcy, get down. And as soon as she was down, they were praising her. So she was just seeing it as, I want attention from mum and dad. The best way to get that is to jump up, bash them in the chest, and then they'll come down and they'll talk to me. What I actually said was for them to do was to turn around, put their hands under their arms like that, okay? Because if your hands are down here, then you're engaging with the dog, okay? If I'm talking to the dog, my hands come down. If I'm giving the dog a biscuit, my hand comes down. If I'm taking a retrieve off them, my hand comes down. So by having your hands up and out the way, it prevents you as a person from getting it wrong, because your hands are here. Now your hands are here, so you can't physically push them down anymore. So what you then do is you turn your back on the dog and you walk away. Okay, so the reason you're doing that is as soon as the dog comes up to you, it jumps up and it says, "Hi, I want attention." Instead of getting anything from you at all, you just turn around and walk away. Your hands aren't down there, so they've got nothing to lick or nothing to play with. They've got nothing to engage with at all, and there's no positive from this at all. There's no like, oh, I'm getting attention. Oh, I'm getting pushed down, and then I'm getting attention. Because ultimately, what you've got to remember is when you push your dog down, so your dog's up here, okay? When you push him down, you've got your hands on his chest. If I now turn around and go, oh, I'm going to talk to my dog, I go down and I put my hands on his chest. That's a sort of nice way to talk to your dog, is hands on their chest, their lower neck, you're talking to them. So down here, that clearly I'm talking to my dog. But up here, when you're saying get down or off, and you think you're correcting your dog by pushing them down, you're unlikely to be doing it in a way that they deem it as something that they don't like. If you go and you shove them down like you're having a fight with somebody, then yeah, they're going to go, oh, I didn't like that. But we don't want to do that with our dogs. No one wants to do that with their dogs. I'll be first to admit that I probably have done that, especially when I've walked out the door and I'm on the odd occasion I'm wearing non-ripped, reasonably smart clothes, and some muddy dog comes up and goes, normally a Cocker Spaniel, comes up and goes, "Daddy, hi," and I go, "Don't you bloody dare." And I stop them doing it normally before they get to me. But if they do come up, I'm like, "Get down, off." And then they go, oh, and they see it as a negative, in exactly the same way as when one of my children comes towards me when I'm wearing the same clothes and they've got chocolate all over their fingers and they're like, "Hi, Daddy." I'm like, "Get away from me, you horrible, filthy little animals," because I don't want them wiping their chocolate fingers all over me or all over the sofa or anything else. So I'll react in a sort of negative way. I won't go, "Oh no, don't do that," as they go smear down my trousers. So I'm not going to do that with my dogs. But as I say, not everyone has that either quick reaction or that sort of that personality to be willing to do that. So if you're worried that your correction to the dog, you saying off or get down, isn't firm enough to really make them understand that they're doing the wrong thing, you need to get your hands out the way, your hands up here, and you need to turn around and walk away. So every time the dog comes for attention, all they get, in fact, is being ignored. Every time they come up for jump up for attention, all they get is you turning around and being ignored. When the dog gives up and they calm down, then pause 10 seconds or so, and then on your terms, go down to the dog down here, and then they've got no reason to jump up, because what's the need for him to jump up? Because I'm down on his level. Okay, now what I like to do is show my dogs that when I want to talk to them, I come down to their level and I have a little play. Now this guy's just arrived for training, so he doesn't know me at all. So the reason I brought him out is because yesterday he was jumping up all over me. Of course, typical for the video, he doesn't want to do it today. But I wanted, it's good just to hang out with him and bond with him. But I'm doing it down here. And again, I've got hold of his chest and I'm talking to him. All the things that you might think you're doing to correct the dog, I'm still doing them when I'm down here. This is why the dog doesn't see this. You know, the dog doesn't see you're pushing them down as a negative. So I come down to the dog, I'm talking to him, and then the dog learns as soon as I'm up, that's it, no more attention time. So I try and avoid, with new dogs and young dogs, I avoid talking to them when I'm here. I try and talk to them down here, and then as soon as I stand up, no more attention. So it's almost like this is my work, training, commanding, I'm the boss, I'm the dad, I'm in charge. So when I'm up here, you know, it's on my terms, and when I go down to them, I'm ready for a roll around the grass, and I'm willing to play with them. But even that is done on my terms, because I'm going down to them when I see fit, not when they want to encourage me down. So just as a recap, if you are going to try and tell your dog off, make sure it's short and sharp, off. If you're going to push them down, don't do sort of gentle. You've got to very much be off. and push them away. So they see that as they don't see that as any attention. When you, whenever you correct a dog, you want to do it as quickly as possible and get your hands away, because the longer your hands are there, the longer that becomes attention and a nice feeling for the dogs. And then you're giving them a mixed signal. If you don't feel happy to do that, if you don't feel you're able to do that, if you don't feel it's working, hands under your arms, tucked into your jacket out the way so you physically can't use your hands, and then turn around and walk away. The other thing we'll sometimes use is we'll use our knee. As a dog's coming towards us, we'll lift our knee up like that, like I'm some sort of Russian soldier marching or something. I'll lift my knees up, and I'll do this when I'm dealing with young puppies who are all there jumping around. And if I move my legs like that, they don't find anywhere to get a grip. They don't find anywhere to jump up on me. So therefore they don't see it as a kind of benefit. They're like, oh God, his legs are everywhere and they're moving, and I can't physically find a nice spot to jump up on. So it just discourages them from a very young age. So whenever I go out with the young puppies, I will always, especially if I'm wearing shorts in the summer, I will always be kind of doing some like John Cleese, like silly walk from one of those sort of funny sort of programs. And John Cleese is walking down the road with his legs going everywhere. That's a really effective way to stop young dogs jumping up at me. You look like a moron, but hey, I look like a moron anyway, so it doesn't bother me as long as my dog behaves. If your dog is jumping up on you, they are more likely to do it to other people, okay? So if you have a situation at home where your dog is a little bit naughty, a bit prone to jumping up at you, and you know somebody else is coming to see you, you know they are going to jump up. Be honest with yourself. Just be honest and go, I know my dog's not as good as it should be. I know it's going to jump up. You've got a few choices. Put them in their crate when the doorbell goes. Put them in the boot room when the doorbell goes. Or if you don't have that opportunity, put them on a lead, because then at least you can give them a tug on the lead and a correction. You can refrain them from jumping up on your visitor and putting their muddy footprints all over them, okay? Because nobody likes going to somebody's house and being greeted by bang into their chest. So take responsibility, take control and manage it, because every time a dog jumps up or runs away or does something naughty, it gives itself a little tick, a little check in its own little sort of record of how clever I am. I managed to jump up and get attention one more time. Every check, every tick, every encouragement they can give themselves gives them just a little bit more exuberance to try it again next time. Flip it around on its head. Every time you stop them doing it, you prevent them doing it, you make sure they don't jump up at your friend or your neighbor or at you. They start to realize that less and less benefit comes from jumping up, so they start to just not do it anymore. Whenever we're training dogs, we're always on the front foot, okay? We're always thinking about what might go wrong, because if we think about what might go wrong, we can prevent it, okay? We don't wait until it happens. Oh, look, he's over there and he's jumped up at someone. What do I do now? Oh, look, he's over there chasing sheep. What do I do now? We're on the front foot. There's sheep over there. He might chase them. I'm going to get hold of him, get him on a lead. There's a person over there. He's a bad jumper-upper. I'm going to get hold of him and I'm going to do some training. That's always the way we're thinking. We're always seeing what might go wrong. And because we're seeing what might go wrong, we're not allowing it to go wrong. I hope this is helpful. Hope you've learnt something. And remember, you get out what you put in, and we'll see you all next time.